And joining us to discuss more about financial literacy and the viral Chase Bank glitch is Santosh Rao, a partner and the head of research at Manhattan Venture Partners. Santosh, thank you as always for joining us. So this Chase Bank glitch went viral on TikTok, leading a lot of users to think that they found a money hack. I myself was astounded so many people were willing to risk getting in trouble, their financial reputation. What's it tell you about the lack of financial savvy people have?
Yes, I think that is an issue, definitely an issue, and it's a broader conversation. Literacy, financial literacy. I was looking up some data. I think 57% of the population is literate, financially literate over in US, 33% globally. But the Scandinavian countries are very good with this. They're like more than 70%, 80%. They're very financial literate because they start off very early, right from early classes and all that in school. So I think, yes, there is a need for that. Anybody would jump on free money. That's human nature. And especially at times such as this, when times are hard, any free money is always tough to resist. So I don't blame them. But I think it's a broader conversation. They should have said, it's too good to be true. Something's wrong, and I'm glad that the bank found it. And there are penalties for doing that, especially in New Jersey, where I live. There are penalties in terms of fines and imprisonments, depending on the severity of the case. So yes, there is punishment. There are some guardrails. But glitches do happen, and I think financial literacy is very important. They're working on it. There's some proposals out there. They haven't been fully implemented everywhere, but there is a recognition that financial literacy is low and needs to be raised.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think the financial institutions like Chase and others have a responsibility to educate their users better on financial matters? Usually stuff, stuff that they have in their contracts is buried on page 18, right? You don't see them easily.
Yes, I think it's in their best interest if their customers are financially literate. But I don't think it's their responsibility fully. But they do have guardrails. They tell you to have strong passwords and all those other things, and don't share your OTPs. And those are all guardrails that they help people to not get caught up in all these issues, financial frauds and all that. But I think that's the best they can do. I mean, they can't really force anybody to really do something. But I think what really helps is at an early stage an organized program where they can have seminars and free seminars and do that more and more so people realize what's at stake here. It's in their best interest. Tomorrow their account could be hacked if they're not literate. So they need to know what guardrails to have, what protections to take, and how to maneuver this thing.
Yeah, and financial literacy, honestly, it's my pet peeve. I simply just don't understand why it's not taught in elementary school. How severe is financial literacy, the gap in the US, and what are the most pressing areas that need to be addressed?
Yes, it is quite a bit. I said, roughly 50% of the population of the base is financially literate, according to one statistics, like I said. It's improving, but it's not the 70-80% that you see in the Scandinavian countries and other advanced countries. I mean, they're smaller in size. It's easily enforceable and teachable and all that. This is a huge country, so it is an issue, and I think there's an effort to do that. I see a lot of people taking an effort to introduce that in schools and colleges and having courses, optional courses on that. So I think all that is great. I think, and we need that, especially now. People don't know about. I mean, it's surprising. People don't know the benefits of 401k and all those things that are easy money, free money that the government is giving you. Not government, but the companies give you. Things like that. So their taxable income. They need to know what's going on, start saving, start protecting themselves, and kind of move on. So literacy is important. It's a huge issue, and everybody should take an effort to teach their kids or spread the word or participate in local seminars and get it out there. But banks are doing their job, but they really can't force your hand. They can entice you to do it, tell you the ramifications of not being literate, and kind of compel people to come and learn this.
TikTok has become a platform for spreading financial advice, not all of it, as we know, accurate. How do you see social media influencing people's financial decisions, and is it a good thing or a bad thing? Should there be more oversight?
It's a fact of life. I mean, it's huge. One data I was looking a while back was the younger generation, whatever they're called, Gen Z or even slightly older, they consume most of their news and entertainment on TikTok. So I think that's a strong medium, and that can be used if it's constructed well and if it done well. It can be used well, and it really reach the far reaches of the population because all the younger generation is plugged in there, or most are. So yes, TikTok plays a big role both ways, good ways and bad ways, like any social media issue right now. So you really have to teach the people that's where literacy comes in, where people realize what's the good and bad, what's sensational and what's just fake, things like that. So you really need to understand the stuff, and TikTok is notorious for being on both sides of the fence. They're helpful in many cases if you want good news, and they're bad if you're vulnerable and illiterate, not literate enough to understand what's good and what's right, and what's wrong, rather, to really to understand what they're reading. So yes, huge issue globally. Well, in many countries it's not allowed, like countries like India, the TikTok is banned. So for many reasons. So things like that, I think people are realizing that social media is there in every walk of life. You cannot avoid it. Only thing you can do is kind of put some guardrails and tame it and tailor it to the progress and make it more constructive rather than destructive.